Aloha Jivas, welcome to another reading of Bhagavad Gita as it is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Prabhupad. We're reading chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, and starting with text 11. Ye yata mam prapadyante tams tattaiva bhajam yaham mama manuvartante manusyaha partha sarvashaha. All of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Purport. Everyone is searching for Krishna in the different aspects of his manifestations. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence and as the all-pervading Supersoul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is only fully realized by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. One devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. In the material world, the same reciprocations of feelings are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with the different types of worshippers. The pure devotees, both here and in the transcendental abode, associate with him in person and are able to render personal service to the Lord, and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. As for those who are impersonalists and who want to commit spiritual suicide by annihilating the individual existence of the living entity, Krishna helps also by absorbing them into his effulgence. Such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord, having extinguished their individuality. Some of them, who are not situated even in the impersonal existence, return to this material field to exhibit their dormant desires for activities. They are not admitted in the spiritual planets, but they are again given a chance to act on the material planets. For those who are fruitive workers, the Lord awards the desired results of their prescribed duties as the Yagyeshvara. And those who are yogis seeking mystic powers are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone, and all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. Unless, therefore, one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect, as is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Akamaha sarva kamo vamuksha kamudaradihi tivrena bhakti yogena yojata purusham param. Translated as, quote, whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. So that is just explaining further what I wrote in my description to yesterday's reading, where, regardless of what your ultimate aim is, because reality is all inclusive, it's all possible, you can attain those things except that most of those things are imperfect, meaning they're not the full conception of a liberated, eternal, individual spirit soul. Let's continue to text 12. Kankshantaha karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Men in this world desire success and fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. Purport. There is a great misconception about the gods or demigods of this material world, and men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the demigods are not different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one, and the parts and parcels are many. The Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam, God is one, Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. The Supreme God is one, Krishna, and the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades of material power. They cannot be equal to the Supreme God, Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or Pashandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Virinchinutam. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. Iha Devataha denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. But Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental to material creation. Even Sripad Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayan or Krishna is beyond this material creation. However, foolish people, Hritanjana, worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get the results, but do not know that results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. The intelligent person is in Krishna consciousness, and he has no need to worship the paltry demigods for some immediate temporary benefit. The demigods of this material world, as well as their worshippers, will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. The boons of the demigods are material and temporary. Both the material worlds and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things, such as the material opulence of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. To achieve such temporary things, they worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshiping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. All of them are therefore kowtowing to the so-called leaders or quote-unquote big guns in order to achieve temporary boons, and they indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardships of material existence. They are all after sense enjoyment, and to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worship empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. What do you think about that? I have to agree from my personal experience, this second to last sentence, that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. And again, you know, it's even true for, you know, Christians. I mean, when you're talking about like God and what it means to be in Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and God consciousness, it is like, for like, it's just, most people don't want to hear about it. They want to, you know, I guess they don't want to feel like, you know, they're not doing good, or like, you know, they're sinful or whatever it is, when, like it says here, like all facilities are made for all people, for all desires. I mean, that's just the nature of this material world. This is all possible under God's will. God's mercy makes it so. We have free will. God doesn't want us to like come to him like unwillingly or out of obligation. It has to be a natural, kind of spontaneous love and affection. And so yeah, I mean, because like when I post this stuff, like I get hardly any engagement, you know, if it's on my Facebook or it's on Instagram, like nobody likes, nobody's even watching my videos like this. I mean, because people just aren't interested. So for those of you who are, I hope you're getting something out of it. And I'm not just preaching to the choir, although it's nice to, you know that there's like-minded people out there appreciating what I'm doing. And it's also great to know that someone who's not familiar or may not have necessarily been interested in knowing about God or Krishna, you know, is watching with some interest. So for all of you watching, thank you so much, and I appreciate any engagement that you want to share. And until next time, I hope you're having an awesome day. Hare Krishna.